Hello, hello, we are live. Why were you shaking your head?
Oh, I was shaking my head because the video didn't play like it was supposed to. I need to make it longer.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, life goes on, and here we are. Technology is supposed to make our lives easier, but sometimes it doesn't, right? And so I think that's part of our topic today is using that technology for your business and to enhance everything that you do instead of being scared of it. Um, and one way we can do that is consistency. And I know that word is kind of scary for some people. Uh, what do you think about consistency, Brittany?
I think that when you're looking at consistency inside of different areas, it's very important to be aware of what is happening. Hi, Mom. It's very
Hi,
important to
Mom.
say hello to your mother. Um,
Hello, Mom. Well, I'm not saying hello
she
to
is
my
our,
mom. I'm
I
saying
looked,
hello to
we had
her
a
mom.
viewer.
So,
Yeah. We had a YouTube viewer and she told me she was going to be there, so I know it's her. But consistency is very important. When we show up at the same times, our moms know how to support us. When we are being consistent in our branding, if you can tell, we have it's on that side, we have our branding here to make sure that no matter what, you know where to find us and who we are. Normally,
mhm.
we would put up QR codes so that you guys can see it, but we have that in our videos. That way, the beginning and the end is capped with those QR codes. And I have this pretty banner so you can find the Creative Spirit channel so you can run your own show or run your own ads. You can find go offthebeatenpath.com and book with Sarah, and then you can find bizstorming.net. And so it's very important to be able to be consistent and show up and let people know where you're at.
Yeah, and that consistency is not just where you place things; it's the things you use around that. So, she just took off the banner. Put that little banner thing back up for a second. So you see the Creative Spirit logo, and their website is Creative Spirit Channel. It's not Jeanette'sChannel.com and the Creative Spirit, so you can never find it. It matches, right? BizStorming is bizstorming.net. Now, I had to go a little bit different because mine's OTBP, right? And so that was already taken, weirdly enough. So I went with Go Off the Beaten Path, but still, it's easy to remember and it matches what I'm doing. And so you want to think about that when you're coming up with the name of your company, name it whatever you want. But then when you start branding, make sure everything matches. Make sure that everything matches to the best of your ability. And you're going to figure out sometimes your website that you exactly want isn't going to be available. And I'll ask Brittany to verify this. Probably the reason she went .net instead of .com is because was .com already taken, or did you already own that?
Ironically, .com is being held hostage.
Ooh, I had that at 2 companies ago that we wanted a website and they held it hostage for, they wanted like $55,000 or something dumb for the website. I'm like, it's not worth it. It's so not worth it.
I
Um,
didn't even
so
ask. I was surprised though that it's even being held. Like, who thought of
yeah,
that?
like who wanted it and who's not using it. So yeah, there are times that you're gonna come across that, right? But we're lucky now that not everything has to be .com, right? There are .nets, there's .cos, there's a variety of things that you can use as your business ending. So don't let that scare you if you go to try to own your website and it's not there. So match it the best way you can to have that consistency of your branding.
And that's really important when you look at how you tag yourself too. So your
Mhm.
YouTube needs to be your channel. YouTube will just automatically assign you one, and you want it to be your channel. You want that backslash to be your channel. I was looking at YouTube. I have to do something to get mine. But you want to make sure those backslashes are correct and you have your space. So Facebook, if I go at bizstorming, I can get it. If I
Mhm.
go to LinkedIn and I go at biz, if I put a dash storming, it will show up, but not the storming. And I tried to fix that. I think it takes some time for it to change, but you want to make sure that that is consistent as well. And then that goes into your hashtags. Perfect lead into hashtags.
It does, because that website tagging the after the slash mark on any website. Hello, Sophia. Hello, thank you for watching us. And you are really late today. It's late where you are, so we appreciate you being up. I'm going to go with it's at least 7 hours later than us. So we appreciate you being up and watching us. And that does lead into hashtags for your company on social media. So let's first of all define what a hashtag is. If you're not used to social media or you're kind of brand new to it, it is a different search function. So on every social media, there's a search function that you can just search for BizStorming directly, Off the Beaten Path directly, Creative Spirit channel directly. But also, let's say you don't know what you're looking for and you're interested in accountability, right? You want to see if anyone's talking about accountability on social media. You can put the hashtag, which is that pound sign. You can put that pound sign before accountability and type that into the search function, and it'll tell you everyone who's been talking about that hashtag. I know, it's crazy. Hello, Jeanette. We appreciate you watching us too, our wonderful producer of the show. She is lovely and we appreciate her. So you want to think about the hashtags that you're going to want to use consistently, but also that other people are going to search for that have to do with your company. So don't make them too obscure because nobody's going to search for them. So I learned that the hard way, maybe. So a lot of people search for leadership development, but not many people just search for leadership. And I realized that after a while, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Because when you're searching for it for yourself, you're like, I want to develop as a leader. I'm not searching about other people's leadership. And you have to kind of think about that a little bit. Did you find any of those barriers, Brittany?
Kind of lucky. I got really lucky with the name. I was surprised. But
Okay.
I mean, I know that there's a lot of people using BizStorming, but accountability is something that people avoid. And so
Yeah. So maybe
it's great
people aren't
hashtag.
searching it as much.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's being
That is true. They do. Yeah. So what hashtags do you use on a regular basis?
on I use Biz Rolodex because I use when I'm doing something with you as HR fixer. So I make sure that that's in there because that's something that you have taken on, and find your path. So I use different ones depending what I'm doing, or hashtag subscriptions or different things like that. So I keep those spaces to where certain things have different hashtags that get reutilized.
Sure. Okay. So for me, I have tried to focus on my job title because I actually met with this gentleman, and I'm going to search for his name and I'll come back and put it in the chat because he helped me realize something that I'm an HR fixer. And that's a good thing because there's only 4 people that identify as an HR fixer on all of LinkedIn. So that's a good thing because I have a unique title. It's a bad thing because I have a unique title. Nobody's searching for it, right? So, but people are searching for maybe HR fix or human resource fix. So I need to figure out what that is. So I'm kind of lucky in some ways and trying to figure it out in others. So hashtags, though, are a really great way to allow your company to be a searchable company in a different way. And again, I always say we can't get into all the details on these calls about how this would work for your specific company, who's ever watching this. But if you reach out to one of us, we can kind of look at your company and give you some ideas of hashtags that you could use that would make you unique and that would allow people to find you in that search function.
Exactly. And Google it. If you put in a hashtag, the other
Oh,
day
yeah.
I was working with a client and they are going to be at a Comic-Con sort of thing. And I went to Google that Comic-Con to see what hashtags they're using. They're not using any. So
Comic-Con, is it using it?
it's not a Comic-Con, it's a smaller, localer one, but
Oh,
that's the
okay, sure. Same concept, though. Got
but
it.
still, a geek isn't using a pound sign. I don't
Right.
know why.
Sure.
So now when we do their marketing in August, we're going to be the only one with those hashtags.
And I want to
However,
clarify really quick. I want to clarify. We will say geeks and nerds, but both of us know 100% geeks and nerds run the world.
that's my
Okay.
D&D
So if
set,
you
just
live
so
in some
everybody knows.
fantasy world that we're saying this in a negative way, geeks and nerds run the world. So, anyways, yeah, go on.
So in August, we're going to be the only ones using that hashtag. I'm
That's
okay with
interesting.
it
Yeah.
because
And if you
people are
put
going
it
to look
on
it up.
everything, it'll be very searchable. Yeah. That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And I just saw that Tanya joined us. Is it
Yes, she
Tanya or
did.
Tanya? I
Tanya.
always mess her name up. Oh, yay. She just waved. All right. Sorry if I messed up your name. I'm not even going to try your last name. I had one of those last names in my previous life. I don't try to pronounce them. So back to consistency, though. That's kind of our focus for today, is kind of consistency in your branding. And we talked about matching your company name with your websites and your socials. And we talked about using hashtags that allow searchability for your company on those socials, and even, hashtags that could help find things on Google. But one of the things that we don't think about, or a lot of people don't think about, is your logo has colors to it, and being consistent in that color usage. So as you can see here, we're Brittany and I. So I am lime green, blue with some white and grays to offset that. The background of this, though, we chose for the Creative Spirit channel to go with their pinks and greens because this is their channel and we're just lucky enough to be here, right? So we wanted their colors to be the primary to match with the Creative Spirit logo. If we all of a sudden started using, hot pink and, oh, there you go. See what I mean? That wouldn't be Creative Spirit channel. That would be me. Oh, that's fine. You were just showing stuff, but she's going to take it back to the other one. But that would be the Creative Spirit, or that would be Brittany, Focus Now. But we want to focus on the Creative Spirit channel. She's got to get back. This is funny. Brittany, did I lose you?
No, I'm here. We're here. We're just hiding behind the T one. And
Okay, get
then
back.
we have, so as you
There
can
we go.
see, I play with
We have a lot of
consistency
options.
all the time.
Well, no, you are consistent with whatever you're presenting. And I know you just showed a bunch of them, but this show is to highlight, the Creative Spirit channel with us talking about things that'll help businesses. When I do my own that, airs on Mondays, then I use my colors, right? And that's my thing, right? You want to make sure that you're consistent with your colors. Okay. And you want people to be able to, Jeanette's like, oh dear. Yes, we messed up, Jeanette. It's live TV, live TVs. So with that, though, like across your socials, across your website, pick colors that you're going to love for many, many, many years. Okay, pick colors that you're okay with a t-shirt if you become a so big of a business that you need to have t-shirts and 3-button shirts to go to meetings. Okay, so don't pick a color you hate. Right? Or a color, don't pick like yellow if you look really bad in yellow, right? Like, don't do that. And so pick colors you love, but also pick colors that you can handle and colors that you can be consistent with and be happy with. Brittany, I know you have the blue and the black. What are your other colors? Do you have other colors? You have a deep
There's
purple somewhere too.
there's purple hiding inside of the biz storming, so
Okay.
it's got a nice dark purple in there. But I trade because I like darks, which is
Hmm.
really hard in marketing. So my logo is dark, but I use the pastels of the blues and the purples while I market. So I
Oh, got it.
actually kind of do a flip, but I keep it in the same
It's the
color
same
palette.
color palette. Uh, you know what? Color palettes are something I don't know if we can get into completely. But if you use Canva, you can find the color palettes of the color that you like, and you can also find the opposite color of, the complete contrasting color that can help balance out some of those things too, if necessary. Again, maybe we should do one of these on Let's Show Canva. But in all honesty, we can't do that together because you and I would just talk for 3 hours. So we would have to have a really grand agenda and not be the two of us. So maybe you should do that one. Go live with a Canva lesson, Canva 101, and then see how that goes.
I'll
But
pre-record a Canva and we'll do that.
there you go.
Like
There
you
you go.
do the painting, because in your show you paint. I could pre-record a Canva something. We could make a
And then
kitty.
talk over it and talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that would be best because I don't think you and we would not do well with Canva. Number one, we both love Canva. Number two, we both are great at Canva. But number three, we both do things way differently on Canva. So it would be better if just only one of us did that. So what is another topic in consistency that we should bring up?
I think that how you present yourself is a huge
Ooh.
thing. So if you notice, I don't wear makeup. I don't curl my hair very often. Same with Sarah. Sometimes Sarah has beautiful big rainbow glasses on, and sometimes she doesn't.
I don't
So
have my rainbow glasses. So I am half blind. But sometimes when I do this, though, you can see what happens. I do cheap readers because I don't have real glasses. Brittany has real glasses because she can't see all the time. I can only not see when I read. And so it does this. I don't pay for expensive glasses. So when I do videos like this, that's why. Again, how you present yourself.
yeah, and
Mhm.
you can see the green of the show in mine, but for me, it's
It's
not a
not.
big deal.
No.
And so it really depends on how you're comfortable and what you're doing. So I put on a nice shirt, but under this, if I'm not in a Zoom meeting, I got a tank top on, and I
Sure.
have a shirt of a day that sits next to me. So you want to make sure that how you're presenting is consistent. If you are a fancy do it up person, do it up. But also
Yep.
understand that there's times we are in New Reality's women's group, and sometimes we all show up in our PJs at 8 a.m. Like you're just showing up comfortably. So if you show up and present yourself at 120, that's where people are going to expect you to be. And so stick with what you're comfortable at in the
Right.
right times.
And always be professional, but don't don't try to be something you're not just because you think you're supposed to be because you're recording or you're on a video. But it's also about your personality, right? uh, don't don't become something you're not on a channel. Now, I will be honest, there are things that I have to scale back when we're on a call because I mean, my mama swore like a sailor, and I tend to do that sometimes. So I have to make sure that I'm not, bringing that. But my personality, the intonation, getting excited, talking like I talk, hand usage, trust me. I'm going crazy right now, but I am a hand person. Like, let that be. Let your personality show and people will love it. Be who you are on the video, and it will allow people to empathize and connect with you better.
Yep. And really remember that who you are is easy.
Hmm.
It's
You
different
shouldn't
to
have to
put,
change it.
yeah, you don't have to change it. You don't have to have a persona. You don't have to pretend you have a voice. You don't have to um you, you have to be PG when you don't want to be. Um,
Right.
you have to really look at those different areas of how can I be the best of who I am? But with that consistency, when a client gets on a call with you and it's one-on-one, they're going to notice the difference if they were sold on your social media and now they're here with you on a one-on-one call.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So this year, we, Jeanette says we have to stay G, LO. But yes, not just PG, just G. But we're doing good. Um, but with that, earlier this year, Brittany and I were in a Fearless Future group where a group of wonderful ladies and the two of us were talking about things we wanted to do and be and grow with. And one of the things I kept saying was, I need to find my voice. I need to find my voice, whether that was blogging or on videos. And I still remember all the questions that I was asked. It never really clicked until one day I was just like, just be yourself, right? And everybody was telling me that for 6 months straight, and I wouldn't listen. So hopefully all y'all will listen to us, because it took me 6 months to get it in my noggin. Okay. So listen, just be yourself. And if you go check out my link, no, sorry, my TikTok, and I'm not selling myself here, that's not my point. You will see a transition from about a year ago, watch a video, till the last like month or so. Things are way different. I was like, bit, and now I'm just me. Right? I was literally like so quiet, and I'm like, maybe somebody will watch me and love me, right? Maybe. And now it's like, I don't care if you love me. This is me. And that's the key, be yourself, and I hope it doesn't take you 6 months to find your voice.
And with that being said, to your point, a lot of that was around your blog as well.
Yeah,
And
my
just
written voice
doing
was a
a
really
blog,
big.
right, and just
Mhm.
doing a blog was something that doesn't align with you all the time. And
Right.
so once in a while, great, you can because it sparked something and you wrote it. But when you were
Hmm.
trying to force it, that also is consistency. If you are trying to force something, it's very difficult for you to do it. And
Yeah.
so if you can't be consistent because you're not aligning with it, then cut it out. Figure out how you can align with it.
I will go with that. That's a great piece of advice. If something is I want you to try things, right? Like, this is, you have to try. But it's the same thing as trying peas when you were a kid. After the second, third, fourth time of peas and you just hated peas, there's no point in shoving peas into your mouth anymore, because it's just not going to happen. So if you try things and you're like, this is super hard, like mentally hard, like you have a feeling in your chest or your gut that you just don't want to do this, it's probably not meant for you. And you can't force yourself to do something when it's not the right time. So,
Exactly. And you'll see even from episode 1 to episode 2, we changed. I used to have the
yeah.
logos down here, but Sarah and I plan on having guests. So uh,
Third
probably
person
either,
can put there. I'm
yeah,
there.
third
Third
person, or when we share the screen, because we shared our screen last time, it
Mm-hmm.
covered our logos. And that goes with consistency. I wanted to make sure we were always branded. I have the stream down here, so we're always branded. So you want to look at it will shift. because as you work things, they will change.
But growing and changing doesn't necessarily mean less consistency. It just means that you're making sure the consistency is more attuned to what you're doing at that point.
Yep.
So with that, we made changes to how it's viewed, but once we created our logos, we didn't change it every week. I haven't changed it since I created it. Okay.
And I love it.
Have you changed yours since you created yours? Did you tweak it all?
Well, I made one and then I hired a professional to make one. Don't
But it
ask
was
what the one
similar,
I
right?
made looks like. They were similar, but they were not close.
Okay.
Actually, Sabrina in Australia made mine, and it's beautiful. I love it.
Yes, I love it. But once you settle on a logo, you want to keep that, right? Go ahead.
Yep. No, Susie made my logo. Sabrina made Davika's logo. Sorry.
Oh,
I was building two logos at the same time and cross names.
well, and you know, somebody was going to fact check you on that. They, so, um, but no. Oh, yeah. So Jeanette did say that she had to change hers because of trademark usage. Yeah, that is true. If you create your logo and you go to trademark it, you may have to make some changes. Now, that wasn't the Creative Spirit one. That was Jeanette's personal business. But it
She only had to add her last name. So she has a heart and she did Jake.
Jaconde.
There we go. Thank you. So
Yep.
she just had to add that. You don't necessarily have to make big changes
Mm-mm.
to improve when you do a
But we're
trademark.
just giving fair warning that sometimes you create your logo, and especially if you end up having to trademark your logo or wanting to, you never really have to, but when you want to trademark your logo, it's there could be small changes that you have to make if somebody else has already used that name or that picture or that type of concept. So like for me, I'm off the beaten path consulting. I'll tell you right now, I live in the Chicagoland area, and there's another off the beaten path consulting. They do something completely different than me. Their website is completely different. They whatever. But if I ever go to trademark something, I may have to fight that situation and either make changes or do something if I ever want to do that. Which is probably why I'll go with OTBP consulting, which is fine. So yeah, we are at 27 minutes here, and I don't want to go over. So I kind of want to just recap, right? This is all about consistency. So the first thing we talked about was making sure that the name of your company matches all your socials and your website, right? The second thing we talked about was hashtags and making sure that they fit your business and the things you want to be searching for. And then we talked a little bit about colors and branding with those colors and being consistent with them and picking colors that you absolutely love. What was the other things we covered? Did I miss something?
Showing up,
Oh, showing up
persona.
as yourself. Yes, 100%. 100%. So we want to make sure that we're showing up as ourselves. So we are down to a minute, and I think we need to do our exit. Is there anything you want to do to wrap up?
I do. So Sarah will have her show on Mondays. Please, please, please watch that. If you are like, hey, I'm in the comments, but I have some questions, on Fridays on LinkedIn, I do a Q&A, and Sarah is most likely going to be there. Her and I kind of be everywhere. We go everywhere. But really, we are here to support you all. So please go to the websites, connect, get support. As a small business owner, you're not doing it by yourself. And we look forward to seeing you next week, same time, right here.